Welcome to News 9 Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point with me. And in today's special edition of On Point, we will talk about Manipur, not only because the tension has escalated, because the divide has deepened. And the fact of the matter is that the state has not been able to assert itself. The communities or some section of the CSOs, civil society organization, are creating so much of pressure on lawmakers that they seem to be taking communitarian stand and not the stand for the state of Manipur. And our debate and our discussion is going to be that how come community-based organizations have become so powerful in a state that public functionaries are actually facing the heat. Now, in a public meeting organized in Manipur's Kangla fort, majority of Meiti MLAs, public representatives, cutting across party line, they met the civil society actors. Now, what makes them powerful? We have been told that the Arambai Tenggol is not that powerful, and the pledge they take and the pledge they took is not anti-national. It's actually is confirming certain positions. They pledge to protect the integrity of the state. Very good. Assured to convey the concerns of the people to the center in front of public. It's reported in major national dailies that the leaders of Arambai Tenggol were present. Now, Arambai Tenggol's role in creating a counter pressure on Kuki civil society is also documented. On the other hand, Kuki MLAs have also separately written to Home Minister Amit Shah seeking intervention against the bias resolution passed by the Meiti legislators. They are supported by ITLF. They are supported by tribal bodies. Both of them are talking about the health of Manipur. Both of them are talking about unity in Manipur. Both of them are talking about health of Manipur. But that remains the talk, because the most important thing is how to get the people together, and that is not the cause. But before I take you to the subject matter experts, let me take you through some of the pointers so that you get the drift of the debate or the discussion. So let me play out those graphics first. Now, demand for implementation of NRC with 1951 as a base sets perfectly. Outsiders should leave Manipur. Any sane person would say. End of ceasefire agreement with armed miscreants? Okay. But now this demands include Sioux groups. It is well documented. Deportation of refugees? Okay. No problem. Fencing of Indian-Myanmar border? The government has agreed. Agreed to. In fact, the work has started. The PTI copy has come. Removal of Assam rifle from Manipur, it's an old story. People would say, why are we talking about it? Lot of Meiti groups have been saying this. As Kuki group says, remove Manipur police. Okay. So what I'm playing out is not new. But the position I'll take, you'll see the reality in a different way. Deployment of neutral forces in the state. Who decide which force is neutral? Then proposal to delist Kuki tribe from ST list, it's an open thing. It has been happening for last 6 months. Nothing new. Nothing new. These are the demands from the Meiti groups. Now the Kuki response is, they write a letter to the Home Minister because they boycotted the assembly session. They didn't come. Nahi aaye. Called the demand to end ceasefire agreement a sinister ploy. It has been their old position. This is not new. Kuki MLAs alleged suspension of operation was meant to tarnish Kuki image. Again, not new. And let me go through it and I'll tell you why this is agitating me. Not new. Stated position. Demand that police commandos be withdrawn from the More. They have been saying it since June. May, June, yes. Raised a demand to implement AFSPA in the valley area, the oldest thing, you know that the hill area is okay, you do it in the valley area, again an old demand. But that is not where the story is. And they again raise the demand to implement AFSPA in the valley areas. See, the story today is, which I feel very strongly, Assam Rifle to be empowered to recover looted arms in Manipur. I mean, sir, this is one party's response. The other party would say, no, you should get another security force. So that is not important. And I am not going to play any videos of it also. I have decided. There are some ANI visuals, I am going to put it in front of you. Because they reported it, the cars were going to the Kangla fort where, it's reported that the Meiti groups were present there. Issue is, what has happened in a state that the civil society actors like Arambai Tenggol to the Kuki groups have created such a pressure that the entire, people who have positions in Delhi, who have positions in Manipur, they have to go there. I mean to say, in any normal setup, the petition goes to the representatives. The petition goes to the people who have been elected by the people of India. Entire Jingbang has gone to this place. So it means two things. Either the polarization is complete, in which the elected representative feels that it's better to have an alliance with these CSO members, or someone has relinquished the moral authority. I'll take the opening remark from Rajesh and then I'll straight away go to General Sivach.
Well, I think, Kartikeya, a majority of the thing which you are saying is correct. The important thing is that the polarization which you feel is happening today happened the day this conflict started. The second thing is that the politics of Manipur is quite unlike the politics which we see in the northern states, either in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, where the elected representative wields a lot of clout, and we don't see any civil society groups and all to have that kind of overarching influence on them to command them to do something. In Manipur, the situation is different. Arambai Tenggol wields a lot of influence, and so does the ITLF. And this is the reason why now, both sides are using the word Manipur. But, we have to understand that when say Arambai Tenggol uses the word Manipur, it means Manipur of their imagination. And when the Kuki side use the Manipur, they mean Manipur of the valley, of the hills only, and not of the valley. So the division, the mental maths division is there only. Otherwise, how is it possible that the two civil CSOs are talking about one Manipur, safe Manipur, and yet are not at all coming to talking terms? They are not coming on the table to have any kind of negotiation whatsoever. It is also not reflecting very good on the center as well. That is the reason why a team of top IB officers were rushed to the state when a letter of 30 plus Meiti MLAs came out in the public domain. It is not reflecting good on the center as well, that they have not been able to calm down the frayed nerves which is running amok in the state of Manipur. Kartikeya.
General Sivach, I don't need to tell you the story. I am also being joined by Hijang Misao. I am also being joined by Hijang Misao, Group Captain retired by Nandakumar Sharma. Thank you all of you for joining me. I am just surprised that, the seat of authority shifted. It's okay for the lawmakers to go. You must have read about it, General Sivach. What happened in the Kangla fort? Yeah. How do you interpret it as a civilian? How do you interpret it as a citizen?
Yeah, Kartikeya, 2-3 issues. One is, unfortunately, the distrust between the two community, rather than decreasing, is increasing. And the civil society from both sides, we are not able to bring them together. And now that is the biggest problem which is occurring there in Manipur. The way the Meitis have now got together, all MLAs, irrespective of the parties, they have now joined in Kangla fort and resolution passed. There are certain good points in resolution, but certainly what it shows is that the divide between both these communities is so large now that the distrust has increased. Now the point which we have been talking time and again, 2-3 issues we all have been saying, that the border between Manipur and Myanmar has to be fenced, because unless this is not fenced, you will find influx of Manipur in Manipur. The militants also even coming from Myanmar. The second thing which we have been talking time and again is, unless you do not get these weapons back, no peace can prevail. Third thing what they are now trying to convey is that ceasefire which has been there with groups, basically with the Kuki group, that Sue is there, that should be now done away with. All these demands can be discussed, but you can't unilaterally pass all these and everyone passes along with it. It means there is a communication gap. And though the center has sent a team now headed by interlocutor Mr. Mishra, but now they have to do a lot of homework to ensure that the both sides, the head of the societies, they come together and the divide, the distrust reduces. Until that mistrust and distrust does not reduce, you find that both sides are passing certain commands and
Okay.
statements which are not good for bringing peace in this area.
Okay,
Now,
done.
this is the biggest issue.
Done. Please stay with me, General Siraj. Misao, can you take us through what happened at the Kangla fort?
Well, Kartikeya, first of all, I would like to object the use of the words civil society organization who is summoning the elected representatives. I would straight away tell you it's not a civil society organization. It's a radical militia outfit called Arambai Tenggol, in whose hands are the 5,000 arms which were looted from the state armory, and who also displays openly and then reign over the elected government, which clearly have already shown that that 75 years after the birth of the Indian independent republic, a state surrendered to the will of a radical militia outfit. That's what exactly happened yesterday at Kangla fort. Never before has India witnessed an elected government give up power to civil militia. Now, what is very unfortunate is like in a manifestation of the total breakdown of the state machinery, shocking images and videos have surfaced in social media where Arambai Tenggol militants are taking to the street of Infa in full military gear and military grade weapons. That also surprisingly, with the presence of the representative of the home people from the central government, from the home ministry, and in the presence of the security forces. Such incident takes place where Arambai Tenggol summoned the representative, the elected representative, not only the MLAs, also the two MPs. One is the MOS of the External Affairs, and the other one is like Rajya Sabha MP. Both of them were also present. And what is most shocking is these 39 elected representatives take a pledge or an oath of allegiance to this militia group, and also endorsing the resolution taken by this militia outfits, where the resolution were directly against the Kuki community, saying that taking a resolution that the Kuki should be delisted from the ST, also like any refugees should be deported to Mizoram, and Assam Rifle, who are leading counter insurgency in the entire Northeast, has to be replaced with other security forces, and also like introducing NRC and what not. This kind of one-sided resolution taken by the outfit will further deepen the divides.
Okay, Mr. Misal, you stay with me. Nandakumar ji, I'll come to you. Mr. Nandakumar, I'll come to you because there are two issues which you need to explain. Why did that place was chosen? Kangla Fort. Why was that fort chosen? What is the history of it? And my third issue. See, I have my issue is not why are legislators meeting these civil society actors. My issue is that generally CSOs go to the governor, chief minister, minister. It should be vice versa. Yes, MLAs can go to them, but is it the correct message going out? That
or is Arambai Tenggol calling the shots?
I mean to say, is the correct message going out? If you ask me, that's what I'm thinking. Who is the most powerful person? It should be the CM, Governor, Home Minister. They should go to them. So you have to explain to me, Mr. Sharma, why was that fort chosen? Why? What does it stand for? Symbolicness. And then we'll start the discussion after a short break.
तो जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा सलमान खान का करेंगे मारेंगे यहीं जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा
This is someone who is sitting inside our jails and is still very obviously and openly running and possibly the largest organized criminal operation in the country.
Student organization of Punjab University में सोपू का acting president type भी रहा है.
He was a troublemaker, getting into fights with people, not coming to the class.
As on git, it appears that Lawrence gang is the most important, the prominent gang. Gangs here in Punjab, they are intimidated.
Today he is India's most dangerous gangster, and India's prisons are apparently no bar to how Bishnoi runs India's largest criminal empire.
News is now content. Just stream it. Download the world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Let me cross straight away to Mr. Sharma, spokesperson of the Delhi Meiti Coordinating Committee. So, why was that place chosen?
Yes, Kartikeya, thanks for calling me once again. Well, Kangla is a very historical place in Manipur. In the history of Manipur, the first kingdom was started from Kangla. It's believed that the Manipur was full of waters. Only the hills, people used to stay in the hills. And as the water recedes, the Kangla was the most in the valleys. It was the most highest point. So it was the first point in the valley where the kingdom of Meiti started. That's why it's a pre-British era. All the kingdoms and all our monuments have been in the Kangla. So it is very historical, and it reminds all the Manipuris that we have a very important place in Kangla. That's why Kangla has been chosen, seeing that our pre-independence, the importance of Kangla is known. And also, I would like to say that MLAs and MPs are the representative of the people. Yes, you say that why CM is not calling the people. CM has been calling, and many negotiations have been taking place. At the same time, the MLAs and the ministers of the Manipur are not able to solve this problem, which has been lingering for more than 8 to 9 months. So, in the democracy, as we all know, the people are the power center is the people. People elect the people. So there is nothing wrong when people are calling these elected members, MLAs and the ministers, and having a discussion in the historical place like Kangla. And also, it is in the history of Manipur, it is the first time that opposition parties cutting across the line, they are meeting and they're having a resolution. It is very important, and it shows the unity among the Meitis, and which is very good, because central government has failed to solve this crisis for the past 9 months, where their deployment of more than 60,000 troops, central forces, and also even the police persons were there. Despite having so much forces, the center and the state government has failed to solve this issue. So it is high time people of the Manipur, especially the Meiti community, has started calling calls for unity, and it's happening. And as far as this thing, Kuki is concerned, they are also united. All the 10 MLAs cutting across the party lines, since starting of this crisis, they have been united, and no question has been asked to the communities. It's good for them, they are united, and as it comes to the Meiti community, I think there is no problem, and it is a very good sign, and a resolution can be brought out, because the seriousness of the Meiti community will be observed by the central government, and definitely there will be a solution in the very near future. This is what I feel. And also, I was asked by Kartikeya that why MLAs meeting the Arambai Tenggol, why not CM? See, Arambai Tenggol, I don't know.
My question, okay, let me rephrase it. No. Let me rephrase it. My question was, then in place of governance, COSO should go to the elected lawmakers, to the assembly, to the secretariat, and there the decision should be taken. So, the pivot of my debate is a right message gone by entire MLAs going to the fort? I think those organizations could have come to the secretariat, the seat of governance, where the elected authority of the state of Manipur resides. I am seeing it from a different perspective. I am not saying that they should not meet, and I never said that. I never said that Biren Singh has not met them or doesn't want to meet them. No, I did not say that. I said, why did everyone go to that fort? Why couldn't they have? Why couldn't they were accommodated where the seat of power resides? Is it the correct message? My question is different.
Oh, there is nothing wrong. MLAs going to the Kangla fort since it's a historical place, and the resolution taken by all the members, MLAs, MPs, and the civil societies are also nothing against India or nothing against the Kuki. I'll read out the resolutions taken by the during the meeting. It says the first point is update the National Register of Citizens, that is NRC, which India government is also doing some action work on this. So they are asking, please update what is the progress on the NRC, and secondly, abrogate the suspension of operation with Kuki Sioux groups. That is very valid. I have been talking about this in your programs many times, and many people are demanding because the reasons you know. Because of the Sioux, the Kuki arms groups have been empowered, and our 60,000 troops of central forces, they are not able to do anything because of this agreement. And the third point is erect fencing along the Indo-Myanmar international border, which is very valid point, and the government of India is taking some valid actions. Only even the tender have been passed and the contracts are on. So number 4 is remove the names of Kuki illegal immigrants. We are not saying all the Kuki should be removed from scheduled tribes. Only the illegal immigrants Kukis are to be removed from the scheduled tribe. And number 5 is the replace Assam Rifle with Central Security Forces, where and some of the forces haven't replaced, some units haven't replaced as per a request or a demand by the government. So these are nothing against the policy of India government or nothing against the Kuki community. I think these resolutions are available in internet and also in print media. So there's nothing wrong. These resolutions are very good. And with the meeting of the MLAs and the minister in Manipur along with the civil societies, it's India government will take seriously now, I think, and they will bring definitely a solution in the near future. And we all are staying in this Kuki, either Kuki or Meiti. We all are suffering. We all know that. So the early solution can be brought by the central government, and I am sure in near future solution will bring because of the seriousness in by
Let me ask this to Misao. Misao, how do you see it? I'll frame it in a binary. If you think there is a better word, you can say it. Reconciliation or capitulation. If you think there is a better word, then you can do it. It's a matter of it's framing of a debate. Reconciliation or capitulation.
Kartikeya, I would make my point very straight here. This conflict is something which we don't start, and the world have seen what has happened to our sisters, what has happened to our population, and what has happened to our houses and habitation. That's, I think, the world has seen, and that need not be repeated. Now, so far, what we are doing is we are doing everything that we do is in self-defense. Even we have enough evidence and witness that the state forces are also in complete complicity with this militia outfit who are hell-bent to create havoc in the life of the Kuki community. Now, coming to that point, I would say we will never capitulate, we will never surrender, because we have inherited the courage of our forefathers who fought the British valiantly for 3 years for India's independence, and also the Kuki people who have fought for India's independence under the Subhash Chandra Bose. Today, we will never surrender to any force who are trying to destroy us. We will fight till the last drop of our blood. Now today, the Meiti, they cannot dictate our future. our future is in our hands. We will choose it. We will not allow anyone to dictate our future. And what we strongly keep saying is not only the Kukis, even the Nagas, both the tribals, we keep saying Manipur was, when it was merged, it was only 700 square ma. They can do anything in 700 square ma, but the land that we live in is our land, our ancestral land, which we inherited from our forefather. Nobody can dislodge us from there. Nobody can turn us from there. We will always protect and fight until and unless we are free. So the so-called delisting Kuki from scheduled tribe is something which is direct attack on us, which we will never remain silent. Therefore, our whole hopes of reconciliation is now becoming very grim when the entire government, state machinery fall in the hands of these militia outfits who, with full military gear and military grades, summon the government, the representatives. And now, what hope do you have when the government is falling, surrendering in the hands of this militia outfit? What hope do you have? What future do you have? We have nothing, but we must decide our own future with our mind. That's something which I would like to tell.
I think that's a strong word. I would disagree here. That is why I said capitulation, political capitulation or reconciliation. I think the surrender is a very strong word, but then, this is a discussion and I'm not going to interrupt you. It's time for a short break, because at the heart of the discussion is when you do this sort of a meeting and the word capitulation is, then you somehow give them legitimacy. I'll give you a very long short comparison. A lot of people said, why did Ramdev and Anna Hazare got so much of legitimacy? They got so much of legitimacy because Pranab Mukherjee and 3 ministers, they went to the airport to speak to him. And once the number 2 of the government speaks to them at the airport,
absolutely,
you capitulate and you get legitimacy. I'm not standing in judgment. Ramdev was right, UPA was wrong, Ramdev won the day, UPA lost the day. But I'm talking about the act. When the ministers went to the airport, the capitulation happened, The message went,
absolutely,
the government is shaking. That is where my discussion is after the break.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There is certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
It was my 14th birthday.
On birthday, daughter waits
home missing father.
He was carrying a cake for his daughter.
49-year-old Birmingham-based
Indian diplomat vanishes.
He was grabbed and bundled into a car by 4 assailants.
KLA claims responsibility. Demands Kashmiri separatists.
Makbul Bhatt's release.
गोली मारो उसे, गोली मारो और फेंक दो.
And within 3 days, they shot him dead.
Abducted diplomat.
Found murdered in Leicestershire.
I said, who ordered to kill him? To me, he said, yes, I ordered it.
And he never came home.
Stop searching, start streaming. Download the world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
I'm also joined by senior journalist Subir Bhaumik, but I'll take a quick comment from General Sibat. General Sibat, my question to you is political in nature. I mean, do you think that this resolution that has been passed will do any good? Has it set the correct precedent or wrong precedent?
Yeah, Kartikeya, I don't think it will do good. In the sense, what should have been done is, instead of one community passing, let's say now Meiti pass, tomorrow the Kuki also will pass, and they will be diagonally opposite to this. Instead of that, let the interlocutor go and they get both the communities, Meitis as well Kuki, let them give their point, and thereafter this point are discussed and some sort of via media is taken out. Now, if one community pass a resolution like this and across the party line, then the other will also pass, so that mistrust and distrust will increase rather than decreasing. You know, this has been long sort of rift which is going on between Meitis and Kuki, started on 3rd May. So we want the peace to come, because the point is that in case the distrust still persists, then the point comes is, when will the peace prevail? As on today, this truce is basically due to buffer zone which is there in between. So any point of time it can spark out of control. So my recommendation will be, rather than passing resolution by the communities like this, let the government take initiative, let the interlocutor goes, and both sides, the civil society come, represented Kuki, Meitis, both sides give their point, and thereafter discussion mein every point will not be agreed, and some point of Kuki, some point of Meiti should be agreed, so that the gap and difference between them is reduced. That the trust which is not there should come back.
Okay.
You know, both these mean good to us, but the way this has been passed, I don't think it is in a good taste. Time is not gone out. Now also government can do, because government is making 2-3 efforts very considerably, which I feel is good. One is that Home Minister has already passed that there will be a fence which will take place between Myanmar and Manipur, or Myanmar and complete Indian border. That's a very good step. And the second thing which he has pointed out is that we will try to bring peace in Manipur. We will send more security forces. We will ensure that the line of communications are not blocked. So that to that extent is very good. So only thing what I'm saying is, I am not in agreement such type of resolution. It is better that the initiative taken by central government. There are interlocutors. Both the communities are represented by their representative. They give their point. Some points are agreed, some points can't be agreed, and the gap should be reduced rather than gap to be increased. That is my point, Kartikeya.
Okay, I'm joined by Northeast expert, senior journalist, a very noted author, Mr. Bhaumik. Mr. Bhaumik, your opening comments on the resolution that was passed. Why did they choose that place, Kangla? And where does it lead
Kangla is very
to?
symbolic. We should never forget that this used to be the fort of the Manipur kings of yore. Secondly, if you recall, the big demonstration by ladies who undressed themselves, you know, when they were fighting against the alleged rape and death, murder of Hangjam Manorama, that also these ladies went and demonstrated in the Kangla fort. So Kangla is something that the wrongor is to the Ahomia, the Ahom. If you remember, the Alpha was born in the Ahom, fort, which is called Ronghor, Ahom sort of, temple, which is Ronghor, which is very famous for being the seat of the Ahom Empire. So this is very symbolic that this is in Kangla. But the very important thing that General Siwaj is raising is that this is what Marx had said, the state is withering away. Where is the state? Here, it's exactly like Assam 1970s and 80s, when the ASU had completely taken over the movement. In fact, the government of India had to sign the agreement with ASU and not with political parties in Assam. It's a different thing that the ASU went on to make, the Assam Gana Parishad originated out of the ASU. But the fact remains here is that a new militant organization which has surfaced practically around the time that this trouble started in May last year, this organization has become so powerful, of course with patronage of powers that be, that they are now dictating terms. They are telling, MLAs of various political parties that you should sign this in the interest of Meiti community. So this is what, my professor at Oxford, Anthony D. Smith, used to say, ethnicization of society. The entire society no longer has its civil elements, no longer has its secular elements, no longer has its state elements. This is complete ethnicization of society that we have seen in countries like Lebanon, countries like the African countries, where 2 or 3 tribes are fighting each other and nobody is in control of the situation. There is no government worth its name. Now, it can happen in some African place or some place like Lebanon, but for this to happen in India, where militant groups are taking over, dictating the agenda about what should happen and dictating an ethnic agenda, is very dangerous. Where is the government? Why are, MLAs, you see, the power that is exercised by this group, Tenggol, is so heavy that no MLA would like to go against them, because then they face the social wrath. So therefore, this is a situation which the government in Manipur is responsible for. This is a complete ethnicization of society, where ethnic militants will project ethnic demands and will fight an ethnic battle for control of the state, for control of what they believe to be their own homeland or whatever they call it. And this is the situation which Karl Marx had foreseen, the state will wither away. It didn't wither away. It did wither away in a communist country like the erstwhile Soviet Union. We hope this doesn't happen in India. And what is the central government doing? This is something that they should answer. How are these things being allowed? What is the government in Manipur doing? Today, after this resolution, do you think there is a government in Manipur? If all the MLAs have to go and sign up some kind of covenant which is dictated by this kind of a outfit which was hardly known. Now, some people who support this organization will say nothing is there against the government of India. The fact is that the government of India today is expected to listen to something that is passed by a non-state actor which has no real political legitimacy, except for the fact that they have gained some leverage in Manipur by playing an ethnic card rather strongly.
You have covered the entire Northeast. So I would like to know from you is, there have been insurgencies in Northeast. Manipur is not an exception. From Mizoram to other places, even Air Force was used. What was done differently that the areas could get back to some sort of normalcy, which is not being done right now, which we are not witnessing right now?
See, there were ethnic groups like this, for instance, in my state, Tripura, in 1980, who were responsible for the riots. But the left government there did not allow them to do something like what has happened today in the Kangla fort. They took complete control of the situation. They went after these kind of organizations, both sides, tribal and Bengali organizations. Nipin Chakravarti's government, sort of went after the tribal militants, but also went after the Amra Bangali, which was the offshoot of Anand Mark and which was becoming very powerful, and whose MP candidate had at one point of time emerged as the second largest vote gatherer in a Tripura MP election, marginalizing Congress completely. So Nipin Chakravarti went after both the Amra Bangali, which was an ethnic group, and also the tribal militant group, so that they don't take over the political system and they don't dictate terms to the government. Elsewhere in the Northeast also this happened. I mean, Indira Gandhi's government took control of the situation after the Delhi riots, and after the Delhi riots, and though the election did not in 1983, brought the Congress to power, but the Congress under Hitesh Saikia tried to marginalize and force the ASU to the table, and finally the Assam agreement was signed. Point here is there is no scope for any agreement. General Sivach is absolutely right that we need to have a dialogue between the representatives of civil society, but not militant groups and radical groups which are highlighting a particular ethnic supremacy of one community. They are going to dictate the terms. This is the end of the state.
Okay.
This is the withering away of the state. This is very, very dangerous. And how can the central government allow something like this to happen?
Okay, we have spokesperson of the Delhi Meiti Coordinating Committee, Mr. Sharma. You wanted to come in, correct? You wanted to come in. I saw you. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I have 2 points. First, correction to Mr. Misao. He said 700 square miles. If you read records on this thing, 18 October 1948, the Maharaja Bhattachandra has addressed the Assembly of Manipur, and he said the present area of Manipur is 8,650 square miles plus 7,000 square miles of Kabo Valley, including 7,900 square miles of the hills. This statement was given by the Mr. Maharaja Bhattachandra, and it is on record. So it is highly incorrect to misquote the facts and the figures of the history saying that 700 miles of the only 700 miles of Meiti. So please read the history and correct yourself. And secondly, I am very surprised and shocked to hear from very learned persons, other panelists, that Arambai Tenggol has been named as a terrorist or militants. And you all know that terrorists or militants have been declared by the Home Minister, and a list is available in. I don't see any inclusion of Arambai Tenggol in the list of terrorist or banned organizations so far. And also the Kuki Sioux groups, they are also not there in the, not mentioned in the banned organization or this thing, terrorist list. And in 2009, India government has, going against the democratic law and against the law, they have signed an agreement called suspension of operation. Which you all feel it's okay, but whereas when the civil society, which you all feel it's okay, but whereas when the civil society of Manipur have a meeting and place a reasonable resolution which is not against India, you are having a problem. This is very height of hypocrisy, I would say. Is it a democracy? People's voice should be heard by the people, or only the rule makers or the MLAs voice should be heard by the people? The democracy in India, as per my understanding, is the rule of the people. The government is by the people, for the people. So people telling their voice and it's being listened by the elected members, it's absolutely fine. And this type of democracy should be prevailing all over India, I say. This is what I have to say, Kartikeya.
Okay. Mr. Misao, then I'll come to, I'll go back to Mr. Bhaumik. He has a point. Arambai Tenggol has not been banned by Home Ministry. It has not been banned by state government. It's not a banned organization.
ASU was also not banned. ASU was a student organization, and AGYCP was a youth organization. What I am trying to say is, I am not saying Arambai Tenggol is a militant group or anything like that. I know very well that they have not been banned by anybody. But the fact is, they are not a established political party. Their people are not in the assembly. What I am trying to drive at is that suddenly an organization like this takes over the entire agenda, and they are driven by an ethnic agenda. So here, the point I'm trying to make is that they have subverted, or the established political parties have been reduced to nothing, and the government in Manipur is looking like a bystander, a spectator, and the initiative is taken by these people. Now, if you want people's democracy, it runs the risk that this people's democracy concept that Mr. Sharma is highlighting is not something that established democracies have. There is no government by the people, or by the mob. Here, the government is elected representatives who sit in assemblies and parliaments, and they represent the people, and that is how democracy functions. Here, you hold a big public event and suddenly you take over and you undermine the entire political system. That is what I'm trying to drive at. that this is something we have seen in Assam before in the 1980s, and now we are seeing in Manipur. And this is a dangerous trend, because who represents the people? Mr. Sharma may think that he represents the people of Manipur. He is representing the Meiti cause very strongly, which is fine. I don't have a problem with him. He has a right to do it. But somebody else will equally strongly highlight the Kuki cause, and then they fight. Who suffers? Manipur suffers, India suffers. That's what I'm trying to drive at.
Oh, absolutely. I understood your point. You never used the word the terrorist organization. And it never, in our discussion, said the word the Arambai Tenggol is banned. You actually hit the nail, Mr. Bhomik. That was the heart of my debate. That, I framed it. It is capitulation or reconciliation. I feel that these people should have gone to the secretariat to meet them. Entire lock, stock, barrel MLAs going there is sending a wrong signal.
Reconciliation would happen if this Tenggol reached out to some Kuki groups and they sat on the table and they came up with an agenda, a win-win situation for both the communities, because Manipur is made up of Nagas, Kukis and Meitis and some other smaller nationalities there. Like Tripura is made up of Bengali settlers and, indigenous tribals. Now, if you think somebody can be thrown out and somebody can be, sort of victimized, that's not how things happen. That's not reconciliation. That's trying to establish some kind of ethnic supremacy, which does not succeed, because that leads to perpetual conflict. And what my friend Sanjeev Barua, the famous political scientist from Assam who teaches in US, he says this is recipe for durable disorder.
Okay.
Where is the state? My question is, where is the state? Where is the chief minister? Tenggol seems to have taken over the agenda. Now, I don't have a problem with Tenggol, but I have a problem with somebody like Tenggol taking over the, political agenda, and the political parties taking a back seat and playing to the gallery in the ethnic sense of the term. This is absolute dangerous.
Mr. Misao, your comments, do you agree with it? Mr. Misao, do you agree with it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true that Arambai Tenggol is not officially banned by the central government.
Yes, it's not a banned organization. It's not a banned organization. That is why when I started, Misao, I used the word civil society actors. That is why I said civil society.
I would disagree to that point, Kartikeya, as well. Why I'm saying I would disagree is because this Arambai Tenggol is fully armed militia outfit. Nobody can deny that one. And the second thing why I'm saying that is Arambai Tenggol is not civil society organization. Civil society organization cannot dictate terms on the government, as Bhumi rightly pointed out. Now, yesterday development was viewed by the tribal community as de facto takeover of the state by this militia outfit. De facto takeover of the state by this militia outfit.
I don't think it's a takeover, Misao. I think it's pampering. It's like political thing, which is sending really wrong signal.
Now, I will come to that point. Kartikeya, I will come to that point. Now, the three MLAs who didn't take part in yesterday's were terrorized and physically assaulted because they were not taking part.
No, you have to name the MLAs. We can't say. I have not read anything like that. Where did you read this news?
Second thing, let me speak. Second thing, when the 39 MLAs take an oath of allegiance to this militia outfit, at the same time also give the signature on the resolution, they have validated that Manipur is a divided state. Now, how can only Meitei community, if you believe in inclusive Manipur, and how can you say that the Meitei population will dictate terms on the government when they can dictate terms on the government by one single community? As Bhumi was rightly saying, Manipur, there are Kukis, Nagas, and Meiteis. When only Meitei can dictate terms on the government, you also validated the whole concept of divided Manipur. Now they have already approved, and also they have validated the very fact that Manipur is divided. Now the 39 MLAs who have already appended the signatures also approve that Manipur is no longer one. It is a divided state. It's hills and valley. That's the standpoint of the Kuki community. At the same time, what I'm trying to say is, when the meeting was held in Kangla Fort, it resonated the demand for independence. The value-based insurgents group have been demanding independence from the Indian Union, saying that we were a princely state, we were forcefully merged into India, we will reclaim that princely status. Now, when they call all this meeting to this Kangla fort, that resonate those demands. Now, the value-based insurgent group, which are based in Myanmar, due to the political crisis and development in Myanmar, they cannot stay there. They came in, and in the camouflage of this Arambai
Misao,
Tenggol,
cross-border terrorism is an issue, Misao. It is an issue.
Yeah.
The cross-border terrorism is an issue.
The
refugee is an issue. I mean to say, there are 40,000 people in Mizoram. I mean to say, these are government records. There are 50,000 people there in Mizoram. Every day, people from army flee and they come to Mizoram. So, the people
that's
coming from Myanmar to India's northeast is a fact. That cannot be denied. And it's happening both in Mizoram and Manipur.
India has been struggling to contain the ambush and attack of this value-based insurgency who are based in Myanmar. Now they came in and...
But they are also hell-based insurgents. This is very convenient.
They have been trying to like further the demand for India's independence when for the Manipur independence, when they call all these meeting. I would say summon all the representative in this Kangla fort. Now I'm telling you, I will call out to every Indian, because the Kukis, we are not fighting only this radical group. We are fighting.
General Sivaj wants to come in. General Sivaj wants to come in. Okay, you got your point.
Against democracy.
Okay, fair enough. It's against democracy. That's your point of view. General Sivaj wants to come in, and then I'll go to Mr. Bhaumik. General Sivaj.
Kartikeya, my point is one. You see, there are some genuine demands of Meiti, but there are also genuine demand of Kukis. So the point is that rather than resolution passed by each community, then the distress will increase. Let them sit down together and interlocutor, then listen to both, and then the gap which is there, aim is to reduce it. The points which are given by one community will be totally focused toward their interest. That is not going to happen. And very rightly brought out, you like it or not like, that as far as Manipur is concerned, there are three communities, Meiti, Kuki and Nagas. They have to stay together. And that is the solution which will come, that where all three can stay in peace. That is the requirement day. Now, my point, Kartikeya, what has happened is that we thought that the peace will prevail, the situation will improve. What has happened in Myanmar has further complicated. Very rightly have been brought by the panelists, my co-panelists. They are trying to convey the way the situation is now fanning out in Myanmar. That has created another pressure, because there are a number of militants as well as the police people as well as the army personnel from Myanmar trying to infiltrate Myanmar as well as Mizoram. And this has further complicated. So I am only trying to convey one thing. Government must take an initiative, which they are taking, especially of making a fence, then also trying to resolve this issue that communication lines remain open. Weapon must be brought. Why are we not talking on that issue? Till the weapons are there in society, it's very difficult to domesticate the society. And the other issue is, let someone take initiative within the central government. An interlocutor should call both the community rather than passing this sort of resolution, which is tilted toward one party.
Okay. Mr. Bhaumik, to you. My question is simple. There is one narrative which frames the Manipur problem as a national internal security and a problem emanating from Myanmar. There is another narrative that it has happened because of the politics of Manipur. Which is the correct one, or which is closer to the truth?
Both these aspects are closer to the truth. I have been talking of an M2M scenario in your channel since the day this whole problem started. Because the breakdown of law and order in Manipur since May last year also coincides with the intensification of the insurgencies in Manipur, in Myanmar, which has created a situation in which the Myanmar army has steadily lost control of large areas of different states, especially those bordering India and some bordering China as well. These Myanmar states have gone into the hands of the ethnic rebel groups. And therefore, we not only have a flow of refugees from there, because some of these populations are in revolt and the Burmese army retaliates. So some of these tribal people, they run across to us. But in some places, the Burmese army is defeated by the ethnic rebel groups, and their soldiers are also fleeing into Indian territory.
Okay.
So unless, I have long suggested that India, rather than waiting and watching, which was our policy on Myanmar, should have set up a Myanmar peace mission and should have intervened there to meet peace, to start a dialogue between different stakeholders, because we had access both to the Myanmar army.
I'm falling short of time.
To the ethnic rebel. No, this is one. Without tackling the Myanmar situation, you cannot insulate the problem of Manipur from Myanmar. Secondly, you should also intervene, the central government should intervene more strongly in Manipur. This is high time when, like, Mizoram, Assam in the 80s, situation is going out of the control of state government. There should be president's rule, and center should directly intervene and come up with a state solution rather than an ethnic solution.
Okay. Thank you, Dada. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. I'm really falling short of time, but I really feel that somehow the resolution, the counter resolution that have been passed don't do Manipur any good, because what needs empowerment, real empowerment, is the peaceful actors of both Kuki and the Meiti communities who can bring the communities together. Thank you for watching On Point with me. Thank you so much.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it